that it is great to be back here in RadhaRaman Temple, the new RadhaRaman Temple. And we must thank management for making this happen. Let's give a big Haribol. And I'm extra happy that my best friend is the temple president. That makes me so happy. So, I'm going to do a short bhajan, and then I'm going to pick up where I left off on Sunday, the introduction to Bhagavatam. And then at 6:45, Kakani ji will lead us in the japa session of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But I must say one more thing. I'm going to ask Vedavit in the Bhagavatam, in the second shloka, what is the qualification to understand Bhagavatam? One word. Nirmatsaranam. What does that mean? No enviousness. So that's the key to unlocking Krishna Bhakti. You have to become free from envy. So with that, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Utale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Charane. Now comes the verse that I live by. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarad Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. And now the essence of Krishna philosophy. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Brinda. We chant this Panchatattva Mahamantra in order to be able to chant Hare Krishna without offense. If we are one time, it just takes one time that you can chant the Hare Krishna mantra without offense, you are perfect. You are perfect. Therefore, we don't just chant once. We play the odds. We chant as much as we can, because you never know when is going to be that one time that you chant without offense. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Jasodanandana Gopi Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maybe you can tell that I'm in an extremely ecstatic mood today. And that's because for over a year in my apartment, I have not been able to sing loudly because of my envious neighbors. They actually complained to the office, he's playing those cymbals too loud. And I got a notice. So for 1 year, I've had to do quiet kirtan. Now, ucha, loud kirtan. So I'm very, very happy that we have this, I keep saying, new, Nava RadhaRaman temple. Nava, new. Long may it live, and may our descendants take care of this temple. That's a big concern, because let's face it, we don't have many more years left, do we? So we need the new young'uns to come and take care of things. Okay, if you're ready to hear the message of Srila Prabhupada, who is here in this temple from the beginning, please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Prabhupada's introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam. We started it on Sunday, we're continuing. The Sanskrit word Ishvara, or controller, conveys the import of the word God, but The Supreme Person is called Parama Ishwara, or the Supreme Controller, the Supreme Ishwara. The Supreme Person, or Parama Ishwara, is the Supreme Conscious Personality, and because he does not derive any power from any other source, Krishna is supremely independent. Here, Prabhupada is pointing out something that is mentioned in the very first shloka of Bhagavatam. We must understand that Bhagavatam is composed by Vyasadeva on the order of his guru, Narada Muni. And specifically, Srimad Bhagavatam was supposed to be a commentary on Vyasadeva's great scholarly work, Vedanta Sutra. But Vedanta Sutra is inaccessible to the common person because you have to have learned 108 Upanishads. You have to be expert in Sanskrit. How many people can say that? So Vedanta Sutra is like a great thesis of philosophy. So what is Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is the same author's own commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So if you understand Bhagavatam, then you will understand Vedanta Sutra. Because the word Vedanta means the end of knowledge. Where does knowledge end? What is the conclusion? So Bhagavatam, through histories, through stories, and leelas, explains everything that's in the Vedanta Sutra. So in that first shloka, where Vyasadeva gives a definition of the absolute truth, which we explained on Sunday, two words, abhigya and swarat. Abhigya means the absolute truth is all-knowing. There's nothing the absolute truth does not know. He knows everything directly and indirectly. But here, he's emphasizing the other word, swarat. You probably are familiar. Swarajya. India wanted its independence from Britain. You wanted independence. So the absolute truth, swarat, is completely independent. And Vyasadeva, in that first shloka, specifically says, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He makes it very clear who that absolute truth is. He could have used so many names, but no, he specifically stated Vasudeva. Vasudeva, of course, dwells in your heart. Vasudeva, of course, is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. The word Vasudeva has two meanings. The philosophical meaning, one who exists everywhere and is conscious of his existence everywhere. As I explained on Sunday, we are conscious of our body. But in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, but the difference between me and you, Arjuna, I am conscious of everyone's body. Because the same Vasudeva, Paramatma, is in my heart, in your heart. They're not different. They're the same. So this Vasudeva, and the other meaning of Vasudeva, according to Leela, Krishna appeared on Janmashtami night as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and then was transferred to Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, where he lived the first 11 15 years of his life. And then he went to Mathura. And what demon did he kill? Kamsa. Yes, Kamsa. You all know that story. From your childhood, you have learned that story. This is why I like preaching to Indian people. Because I don't have to do A, B, C, D like I have to do with others. You guys already know so much, so I can kick it up to the next level. That's why I've pretty much exclusively been preaching to Indians since 1994. Because I like to go to fifth gear, not first. Who wants to drive in the first lane? You want to get into the other lane where you can. So, preaching to Indians is like driving in the fifth lane. Zoom, 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 zoom. Prabhupada's introduction continues. In the Vedic literature, many times, Lord Brahma is described as the supreme god, or the head of all other gods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna. But the Srimad Bhagavatam confirms that even Lord Brahma is not independent as far as his power and knowledge are concerned. For Lord Brahma received knowledge in the form of the Vedas from the Supreme Person. Everybody say, Narayana, who resides within the heart of every living being. So that story is there in the second canto. Lord Brahma is born and he finds himself situated on a golden lotus. But he cannot see the origin of the lotus. He travels down the stem and he comes to water. And he dives into the water, but he cannot find the source. And he finds himself, he has this burning desire to create, but he doesn't know how to do it. So he performs bhakti yoga, meditation in bhakti. And after 100 years or so, Narayan appears to him and says, Brahma, good job. And he shakes hands with Lord Brahma. Who would like to shake hands with Lord Narayan and have Lord Narayan tell you, good job? Yes. So Brahma asks Narayan, I want to know how to create. Narayan speaks 4 verses. Those verses are called the Chatu Shloki, the 4 original verses from which all the other 18,000 verses come from. Since Brahma is the most intelligent person, he didn't become Brahma by doing a campaign or going on the internet and spreading misinformation. No, Brahma earned his position because for 100 previous births, he lived a perfect, pious life. I'm lucky if I can do 1 birth. He did 100. So he's qualified to be Lord Brahma. So Narayan speaks 4 verses, and with those 4 verses, everything is required for a Brahma to engineer the creation of the universe. That's like this temple. You got engineers, did you not? You drew up plans, right? Everything requires a plan. The cook does the cooking, but the engineer does the construction. You need an engineer. So the Adi Kavi, the original engineer, is Lord Brahma. But remember, he didn't know how to create. Not until Narayan spoke those 4 verses of Bhagavatam, then he knew what to do. Individual, infinitesimal persons who are part and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may know directly and indirectly everything about their own bodies or external features. But the Supreme Personality, Krishna, knows everything about both his external and internal features or energies. This, of course, is explained in Bhagavad Gita. In chapter 7 specifically, Krishna talks about the inferior material energies, which are 8. Bhumir apanalo vayu kang mano buddhir evacha ahankara iti yang me binna prakritir ashtadha. 8 separated material energies are Krishna's inferior external material energies. But then in the very next verse, aparayamitas twanyang prakriting vidime param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. This whole cosmic manifestation exists for the purpose of the superior energy, jiva bhuta, the individual, as he says here, infinitesimal, not infinite. Sorry, you're not infinite. We are infinitesimal. Yes, we are part and parcel of God. We are equal to God in quality or energy, but we are tiny, small. After all, the Vedas say the spirit soul is 1/10,000th tip of the hair. So why any one of us gets puffed up is a little ridiculous. We're only 1/10,000th the tip of a hair. Therefore, the spirit soul is called Anu, atomic. Krishna is known as Vibhu, the great, the enormous, the gigantic. Prabhupada continues. The words Janmadi Asya from the opening line of Srimad Bhagavatam suggest that the source of all production, maintenance, or destruction is the same supreme conscious person, Krishna. Even in our present experience, we can know that nothing is generated from inert matter, but inert matter can be generated from the living entity. That's why there's one book called Life Comes from Life. The atheistic scientist says, no, life comes from matter. And they've been trying to do that for hundreds and hundreds of years, but it's never going to happen because life comes from life. Sri Sri RadhaRaman Bhagavan Ki. Life comes from life. Yes, when I was a child, they had this silly movie, Frankenstein, where supposedly by electrical shock, you can make a dead person come to life. No, that's a fairy tale. No, life comes from life, not from dead matter. Men with a poor fund of knowledge mistake the bodily machinery to be the living being. But the fact is that the living being is the basis of the bodily machine. For the bodily machine is useless as soon as the living spark is away from it. Yes, I have spoken at so many dozens and dozens of funerals. So, here is our beloved. Where has the beloved gone? The body is there, but the spirit soul has departed along with super soul, Paramatma. That's death. That's explained in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is death? When the soul and the super soul leave the body. And then, as we learn from Bhagavad Gita, the next body is already waiting. It's there. Just like you all live now in nice homes, but perhaps there was a time when you started out, like in my case, you lived in a little apartment. But then you made some money, you became a little affluent, you got a better house. Then you got a better house. Maybe you're planning on yet another house. I know someone like that. He's working on his 3rd mansion. So, in the same way, we have this body, another apartment, another house, another body is waiting for you. Nothing to worry about. Now, according to Bhagavad Gita, we should not be planning for another better house. Where should we be going? What should we be planning? To go to our original house, where we once left. What is that? The abode of Krishna. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Parang Dhamma Mama, my supreme abode. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in my abode, there's no need of electricity, fire, sunlight. Look, no bills do you have to pay in Krishna's abode. There are no bills. The spiritual world is called Vaikunta, absence of anxiety. Material world, you know as well as me, every day we wake up with anxiety. Now you probably are hearing drought, right? Big problem now for Southern California. Lake Mead is starting to dry up. And they don't see any water rain coming. So we're in anxiety. We all had experience last couple of years, right? Big forest fires. Where is the rain coming from? We all know. It comes from Krishna. So, I don't know about you, but I'm going to be praying. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. I would advise you, because if this drought continues, one day you'll turn on the tap and no water. I don't know about you. I look forward to taking my 2 baths every day. But if there's no water, I'm not going to bathe in bottled water. That's expensive. So we need rain. So we should pray, everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And if you don't want to chant Hare Krishna, if you find that too difficult, then you can just pray like this every moment. My dear Lord Krishna, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Simple prayer. I'm going to be doing that. I'm scared. No rain, no water. We need water. Similarly, the original source of all material energy is the Supreme Person, Krishna. And this fact is expressed in all the Vedic literatures, and all the exponents of spiritual science have accepted this truth. Here, Prabhupada is referring to the great acharyas. Sripad Shankaracharya, he said, Narayana Paro Vyaktat. Narayana is beyond. the cosmic manifestation. Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka Swami, all the great Vaishnava acharyas are all in agreement. The source of all energies is Lord Krishna Bhagavan. The living force is called Brahman. And one of the greatest acharyas or teachers, namely Sripad Shankara Acharya, has preached that Brahman is substance, whereas the cosmic world is category. The original source of all energies is the supreme living force. And the supreme living force is logically accepted as the supreme person, Krishna. Krishna is therefore conscious of everything, past, present, and future. And that's directly stated in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says exactly that. I know everything that has happened in the past. I know what is happening now, and I know what is happening in the future. We don't know what's happening in the future. Right? We don't know that. But Krishna knows. Now, people ask sometimes after hearing that, they say, Prabhuji, if Krishna knows everything that's going to happen, then where is my free will? They think like that. No. Krishna knowing something has nothing to do with your free will. Just like I may know that my good friend, Dr. Garbakar, after the program, I know he's going to take prasadam. Correct? Are you? Now, is my knowing it going to affect whether or not you're going to eat? No. So although Krishna knows everything that's going to happen in the future, his knowing does not interfere with my free will. So these two things are exclusive. Because he knows, we still have... Now the thing is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we have minute free will. That's the kicker. Krishna has absolute free will, meaning Krishna can do anything and there's no reaction. We don't have that. We have minute free will. We can choose this, we can choose that. After that, we get the consequences. But for Krishna, no consequences. Krishna can do, and you've read in the Bhagavatam all the different pastimes of Krishna, killing the demons and blessing the devotees. But no matter what Krishna does, he always comes out smiling. Even when Krishna is killing some demon, it's not that he's struggling. No. Nonchalantly, just easily. Very little energy. For instance, in the story of Lord Vishnu killing Hiranyaksha, how did Lord Vishnu kill Hiranyaksha? By slapping him under the ear. That's it. Simply gave him a little tap on his earlobe, boom, the demon died. If I did that to you, are you going to drop down dead? You'll get disturbed. Why are you slapping my ear? But because Lord Varaha is omnipotent, even that little slap, or you all know the story of Govardhan Hill. Krishna was only 7 years old when he lifted Govardhan Hill. You know any 7-year-old boy who can lift a mountain and hold it on his pinky for 7 days and 7 nights? You have not seen. But that's exactly what Krishna did. So he's omnipotent. No limitations. An imperfect living being does not even know what is happening within his or her own personal body. That's why we have to go to doctors. I feel this, I feel that. I don't know what's going on. So I go to a doctor. And the doctor, because he has studied, and even he doesn't really know, he makes his best assessment that you have this, you have this. Do you know any doctor who will give you a guarantee? Does any doctor do that? A guarantee? No. He'd get a lawsuit really for sure. No doctor. I once went to a doctor. When I had my office in the Los Angeles temple. So I had come back from India and I was coughing and I was feeling really out of it. So there was one Jain doctor, Dr. Bhutta. So I went to see him. He said, oh, you've got some kind of bronchial infection. So I asked him, I said, Dr. Bhutta, how much does the medical profession know? And he said, oh, maybe 20%. I said, what? 20%? That's F. If any of your kids come home from a paper with 20%, that means they didn't learn anything. So our knowledge is very, very little. Even, thank God they came up with this vaccine. But they all admit we don't really know. They're not guaranteeing anything, right? They're in what is called new waters here, uncharted waters. So far, everything's been good, right? We got our vaccinations, some of us, right? And we're hoping, all right. I don't think they put any chip in me. Some people were thinking like that. Did you heard about that? Some people didn't want to take the vaccine. Oh no, the government's putting a chip in and they're going to control you. Yes. But the fact still remains, they don't know everything. They don't know everything. But who does know everything? Our God, our Krishna. That much I can bank on. Because Krishna says, I know everything, past, present, and future. That's why I put my full trust in Krishna. And I have seen throughout my life that has been the deciding factor. Putting my faith in Krishna has made all the difference in the world. Here I am today, sitting in front of you, still alive, still chanting, still preaching after all these years. Oh, still chanting after all these years. I will end here. It's always better to leave them wanting more. Will we do this next month, Krishna Kumar? Jai. Every second Saturday. Before Kakani begins Japa class, would you like a blessing benediction? Fold your hands and I will give you a blessing. My dear Lord Krishna, bless these beautiful devotees of the Nava RadhaRaman temple. Take away their anxiety. Protect them. Bless them. Maintain them. And may they feel your presence in their heart. Repeat after me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Thank you very much for this privilege of speaking Krishna Katha.